This video is for anyone who wants to build a MOBA or a real-time strategy game on Roblox but isn't sure where to start. Hello, I'm Marcos Mendonça, also known as Mofia, and I'm a senior software engineer at Roblox. When you start making a game, it's a good idea to start with the camera behavior. The camera is the player's window into the game and defines so much about how they interact with it. MOBAs and real-time strategy games use what we call a top-down view, which is what we'll be building today. As the name suggests, a top-down view consists of the game camera positioned above the action, looking downward to give players an overhead view of the environment and characters. It provides a broad perspective that helps with navigation, strategy, and spatial awareness, which fits well those game genres I mentioned earlier. A lot of people refer to this type of camera as isometric, which is close but not quite right. An isometric view uses an orthographic projection, where objects stay the same size regardless of the distance from the camera and parallel lines never converge, generally seen in 2D games. Here, I'm rendering everything with a perspective projection, where distant objects appear smaller, just like in the real world. With that said, by the end of the video, you'll be able to understand the logic behind that behavior and how to apply it in a very straightforward way on your Roblox game, with some bonus features too. The place for the code will be available for download, so you'll be able to study more in depth and expand upon it. If you take a look at the replicated storage, I've organized the system within folders, modules, and a script, and we'll be going through each one of them in depth. So the first thing we'll be looking into is the perspective camera view 1, which is what contains all the logic related to our camera controls. First, we have a few variables defined at the top of the file, such as services requiring some other module, constants, and some other volatile variables, and 3 other functions. Looking at the enable function, the first thing that we have is a guard clause checking for the state of our behavior, right? So we check if it's enabled, and if it is, then we don't do anything else, because, well, it's already enabled, right? If it's not enabled though, we're going to be applying a scriptable camera type. This is what's going to allow us to actually make the different changes we want for the camera and avoid the default behavior that we have. The next step is binding a function to render step. In this case, I'm naming it update camera position, which is going to take the character position, apply an offset, and that's going to be serving as our origin position for the camera, and then building another C-frame using that origin and then the character position itself to be serving as a camera goal position. And once we apply that, we have the intended behavior of the top-down view following the character. The logic isn't going to run by itself though, we need something to actually start it. That's why I created a script with the wrong context of client over here to actually require our module and then call the function which is going to enable it. And this is what it looks like. We have the camera on a fixed position in relation to the character on a top-down view with some offset. This is what it looks like. I can still move around, but I cannot rotate my camera or zoom in or out. Now, we can definitely improve our camera behavior, but before moving forward, I need to explain 2 things. First, although we're not using it, we have the disable function, which is going to clean up all connections, avoiding memory leaks, unbind our function from render step, and setting back the default camera behavior, which is the function defined on the module script shown to the right. Second, you might have noticed I've been using const instead of local to define my variables. Const is a keyword that has been recently added to Lua, and it's used to indicate an immutable binding, preventing reassignment. In our case, since the enabled variable has a change in value, it can't be defined as a const variable. Note though that connections table is defined as const, but we still make changes to it internally. And that is because the table contents are allowed to be changed. So your code will run just fine if you keep on using only local, but I find it to be a good practice declaring variables as const where applicable. So to improve our system, we'll be adding camera rotation and a basic click to move logic to our character. Using the Roblox input action system, I set up an input context with a few input actions, and each of them have input bindings for keyboard and mouse, gamepad and touch, meaning our system will support all devices from the get-go. In our case, I set up 4 input actions. The first one being input viewport position, which is going to continuously take the viewport position of the player interaction, such as the mouse position on desktop, the virtual cursor position on consoles, or touch position on mobile devices, to be used for character movement. Secondly, the move character, which is actually gonna call a function to move the character towards our goal position. And third, the rotate camera right and left, which will, guess what, rotate the camera. I also created a screen GUI with 2 buttons to be used as our bindings for mobile devices to rotate the camera. Besides that, we now have 3 new module scripts with helper functions. Move character to position, which will take a viewport position, fire array to determine the target position in the world, and then move the local player humanoid to that position, momentarily creating a target indicator, and enable and disable player movement, taking the Roblox default player control module and toggling it as needed. Now, looking at our perspective camera V2 module, we have a few variables defined at the top, just like the previous version, but now we include references to the new module scripts and input action system instances that I mentioned earlier, as well as some new mutating variables, which we'll use to move the character and rotate the camera. Scrolling down a little bit, you can notice how the structure roughly remains the same. In our enable function, we have event listeners for all our input actions. We apply the scriptable camera type, disable the default player movement, and we bind to render step our update camera position function again. Our update camera position function has changed a bit. It now calculates an alpha to determine the rotation speed towards the target angle, allowing for smooth rotation between the different angles, and applies that rotation while still keeping the character position as our main focus point with the added offset, creating that nice effect that we just saw. And this is what our system looks like right now. I have a click to move system, which is what those MOBA games have, and I can press E or Q to rotate my camera, as well as press the buttons, and it's going to do the same thing, right? So this works for all devices, and we have something pretty cool to go with. What we have so far works nice for top-down shooter game or a MOBA game. But what if you wanted to make a camera system to work like a real-time strategy game does it? Well, in that case, I created another input action, which I'm naming Move Camera, which is gonna be a Direction 2D type. And I also modify our perspective camera, now V3, to take that into account. Let's see how it looks like. So in our perspective camera V3, we added 2 new variables, focus position and move camera axis, which we'll use to have our camera anchor point and determine the axis the camera should move to respectively. Inside our enable function, we added our move camera input action event listener to determine our move camera axis, and we set our focus position to be the world origin position. Other than that, I've now modified our update camera position function to calculate the proper positions and angles based on our move camera axis and focus position. This way, we have a free panning perspective camera just like a real-time strategy game. And this is what we have. We have a pretty panning camera, so you can look around other portions of the map, and you move your character by clicking around it. Now, one final comment. When you download the place file, you're gonna see it organized like this. So we have all the 3 versions of our perspective camera over here, and all you have to do is go to Camera Control Bootstrapper and then just change the reference to the one that you would like to use. So if I want to use the first one, it's gonna be V1, the second one V2, and the third one V3. It's up to you. You're also able to modify some of the properties of each camera system we went through. Just open up the constants module script under each perspective camera module script and mess around with the values. In version 3, for example, you can change the camera offset, rotation step, rotation speed, or pan speed, which can lead you to very different results. And that's it from me today. One final note, use this to learn, integrate in your projects, and make even cooler systems. These are just few ways to have your custom perspective camera behavior, but I incentivize you to try making your own modifications that will suit your needs on your Roblox games. I hope you liked the video. Let me know in the comments if this is useful to you, and feel free to ask me more interesting things you'd like to see in the channel. See ya!